right, we're up. This is the Hour Time with Troy by North Alabama's podcast. And I have a guest I think I've been wanting to have in for quite a while. She doesn't know this, but Nicole Reynolds is here from Apparel Lab. Mm-hmm. And so like most of my conversations, I'm excited to talk to you about several things. How are you today?
Great. The weather today, it has me on a positive vibe. So
fantastic, right?
Pumped about it.
I've been traveling a lot between here and DC, and sometimes it's that time of year where I just don't even know what to expect weather-wise.
Oh, no.
And then I just assume have lots of layers.
Always.
Alabama. It's cold in the morning. It's kind of being out in California where it's just always cold in the morning. It doesn't matter what time of year, but then it'll warm up and be beautiful. But yeah, today is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked at the outlook to see if the whole week's going to be nice.
I just don't even look at it anymore. It's just
are we going to get some more winter, you think?
I hope not. Yeah. I'm pretty over it.
You know what I was wondering? I was wondering if birds, because the birds are out, and I'm thinking okay, I kind of grew up where birds migrated when it was springtime, and it's not springtime. And I know we're in Alabama, but we get all four seasons.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, well, maybe there's something about where they just know what's coming.
That mean they have to.
They have to.
The
right?
ducks in the pond in our neighborhood are all coming back now, so I'm like, this is a good sign.
Yeah, it's we have to have these instruments for weather detection, but I think they just know.
They do.
More so than the groundhog. Spring's on its way. We're good. Let's all before they're surprised. Oh my gosh, who said it was going to be cold?
Yeah, maybe we stop with the groundhog and I'm going to start looking at the geese.
Exactly. So here's what I'd like to start with you, Nicole. Not every guest that comes in here do I really want to launch into what they do professionally, but in this case, I do.
Okay.
I hope I don't know if you've watched any of my episodes, but I caught myself being a little selfish on Saturday. I went out for a run. I ran 4 miles on the Bradford Creek Trail, and I was thinking, what music am I going to listen to? And I was like, no. You got Nicole coming. You need to listen to the business of apparel.
Oh my gosh.
And so I'll saturate myself in these just podcasts, right? Just
cool.
To spur thought on questions I can ask you and stuff like that. But I would like to start with you on and I do a lot of I infer a lot. I've done a lot of hiring in my days.
Yeah.
And so I'll look at a resume and stuff, and I'll try to put my own inference on what someone was thinking. So when I look at your resume, and you were at Jacksonville State, right? And then you ended up at UAH.
Did.
And then you got you had a master's in HR, not a master's. You majored in HR, or was that a minor?
That was a minor in HR.
Okay. And then ultimately you get an executive MBA. But while you were working with a company for 3 years.
Yeah.
So were you the type, and Apparel Lab is a small business, growing, right? That you hope to make a big thing, but it's a labor of love to a certain degree. Were you the type that knew you always wanted to go into small business and kind of felt those who may coach you along the way say, that's a good goal, Nicole, but it's risky. Why don't you go out and get some education, go work, be conservative, if you will, work for a company, and then see if the right thing comes along, which I think in your case came in the form of Apparel Lab in 2020, or you wanted to get into small business, you always knew it, and you just couldn't find the right thing. Kind of talk me through that. Am I on the right track? What's Nicole's mindset on, I'm going to college, or this is what I want to do?
Yeah. So I actually went to Jacksonville State because they were one of the only schools that I could find that offered a minor in cheerleading.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I just wanted to be a cheer coach. It's what I wanted to do. I loved it. I don't know if you've coached any sports for youth. There's actually no money there. Right. So much like small business. No, I'm just kidding.
Someone at some point's you're planning to make a career out of this?
My dad's like, you're going for what? And I'm like, okay, great. So I go to Jacksonville. I start this cheerleading, path. While I'm there, UAH starts a competitive team, and my high school coach takes over, and she's like, listen, I need you to come back because we're gonna do these competitions, and I need you to help me grow this team. Okay, back home. So I come back to UAH. There's no cheerleading minor here, so I just have to pick something. I'm like, great, HR, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So what really happened was I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no plan, no path. I feel like there's a lot of degrees where it's like with nursing, you're a nurse, right? Information systems, you're doing like, I didn't want to pigeonhole myself. And so I just felt like communication and HR, I'll figure it out at some point and I'll check that box of degree.
Why did you have to minor in something? Was that required?
Yeah, you just had to pick something.
Okay.
And so it just seemed like maybe that was the easiest one. And also, again, really trying not to pigeonhole myself into anything because I was having trouble making a commitment to any, who knows? I'm 20 years old, right?
Yeah,
18, 19. I have no idea. So I just kept trying to choose degrees that wouldn't pigeonhole me into anything. Meanwhile,
were you getting advice from your dad? Was he, or was something that really Nicole wanted?
Yeah, it was just really what I wanted.
Okay.
I'm not the first in my family to graduate from college. All of my siblings have degrees, and it was really just this was kind of the path. You go to college, and
yeah,
you just do it, right? But I felt like the rest of my siblings really had something that they excelled in. I've got a brother who has traveled the world doing networking and engineering and things. And then I've got a sister who's a nurse, and I've got another brother who has designed games for the Army. And like everyone's just very talented. And I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing, you guys. But what I did figure out was I didn't want to be in big business. I didn't want to work for a large company this is my ADHD brain that I'm stamping this conveyor line of things that's happening as it goes by me. Mm-hmm. I knew that I wanted to be in a small business because I want to be in control and making a difference. I want to know that every day when I get there, I'm pushing the ball forward and I'm helping to kind of control that path and what it looks like too. So
what were some exemplars that must have inspired you? Do you recall?
Yeah. The first, what I would consider a big girl job that I had was a company in a town called 0 Point. It was aerospace engineering. I was just the admin, right? I'm just helping. But it was, when I started, probably less than 20 people. And the leadership on that team was very good about letting me jump in wherever I could. We're writing a proposal and we need help researching turning a shipping container into usable growing space in a third world country. Can you help us?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely I can. Not my expertise, but I know how to research. So, they were just very good about letting me dive in and really feel like you're not an aerospace engineer, but you can still work very hard here and, be a contributing member to the team. Mm-hmm. So that company kind of took a little bit of a downslide.
But you got your MBA while you were there.
Well, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So the year I graduated, I just started kind of putting myself out there to see, what's next. Found another tech company in town, Spur Appleton, and jumped on over there. Again, another small team, but doing incredible things. And another team of just leadership who, if you want to get in and get dirty and really work hard, they'll let you. You want to work in marketing? Work in marketing. You want to be at a onboarding event? Be at an onboarding event. Like really find your passion and dig in. So that was really cool to, I think I've been very blessed to be kind of almost tripping into these positions of small business where the leadership has been incredible and has really just empowered me to do what you want to do.
And you got promoted there or changed jobs, right? What the job that you started with is not what you ended with as an implementation manager, right?
Yeah. So I started assisting the CEO when I came on, and then he was very good about, you don't want to be an assistant your whole life. Like, what do you want to do? Yeah. And so I, again, told him, I don't know. I know I love people. I love working with people. I love talking to people. I love helping people. I love problem solving. Like, I could name all these things I liked. And so he and I kind of worked together, and he was like, I really think implementation, like help these companies get onboarded on the platform, listen to their concerns. It was a good fit. So that was fun.
And that was, and then, so then you left there at the end of, I think, like in November of 2020.
It was a layoff. Yeah. Big
And
layoff.
they laid you off.
Mm-hmm.
They lost some contracts or lost some work.
Yeah. COVID just
Gotcha.
tanked it.
Yeah.
Tanked everything. So the company went from probably 80-ish people down to a very skeleton crew.
Now, what order are you with your siblings? Are you the youngest?
I am the oldest.
You're the oldest.
Yes.
Okay. So did you feel some pressure being it sounds like they may have all found their way earlier than you did, and you're the oldest.
Mm-hmm.
Was that hard for you? Like in a way,
No.
like what's wrong with you, Nicole? Like,
Yeah. No, I never felt like I was behind or anything.
Okay.
I, took care of everybody and felt like they were almost my kids too, right? As we
Yeah.
were kind of
Gotcha.
letting them off to fly. And I would have never felt like I wasn't on a path to something. I may not have known exactly what that path was, but I've always worked hard. I've always worked. So while I couldn't say like, I'm working to,
Mm-hmm.
XYZ, I always felt like I'm on my path and I'm doing it. So
What was your first job?
coaching gymnastics,
How old were you?
14.
Okay. Were you a flyer?
No,
No.
I've always been strong.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you base?
Base, mhm.
Okay. I just remember that from my wife.
Yeah.
Was a flyer.
Yeah.
So that's like the only flyer and base. Are there other roles or is it just
Back
those
spot,
two? Back
yeah,
spot.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So now so I've never met Matt McClellan, who's your co-founder, right? I
Well,
know-
he founded Apparel himself. Yeah.
Okay, because he also has Absolute Nutrition. I've heard him when I interviewed Tony Eberhardt. It's been a while now.
Yes.
Like I've had this 18-month sabbatical, right? So like in episodes, it's not that far back, but in time, it's been like probably 3 years now.
Yeah.
I know that she and he and maybe some others had like a
3210.
podcast
Yeah.
that they were doing for some of their nonprofit stuff, but. And I enjoyed listening. I listened to a lot of their episodes, probably to research and get ready for her. But like, hey, this Matt guy seems like he's got some good stuff going on.
Yeah.
How did you connect with Matt?
We've been friends for 10 plus years.
Okay.
And then I got laid off 2020 and I called him and I just said, hey, I need you to help me redo my resume. Also, I know you've got Apparel Lab. Like, can I compress some shirts or like, I just need something to do. I cannot sit. So, we're at this point headed into, COVID, right? We're not supposed to be out and about but I can't, there's no way I'm sitting at home. I don't have any work to do. So it's not like I can even, I'll just work from home. I don't have anything. I've got severance from Spur and I'm just twiddling my thumbs.
And how long had Apparel Lab been around before you showed up?
2 years. It started in the back of Absolute Nutrition. A little, probably the size of this room, honestly.
12 by 12, whatever.
And Matt was running it back there himself and then kind of brought on a little part-time help every now and then. It really started because he just wanted shirts faster. And so he was like, I'll buy a printer. And then, you know how it is. It's like you're his friend and you're like, oh man, you bought that printer. You think you can print me shirts?
Yeah.
And then that kind of grew into, okay, well, I need some legitimate like business things here. Like it's still a part-time gig at this point, but it's growing. Well, 2020, February, right before COVID hit, they went out of Absolute Nutrition and into a real space. And then COVID hit. I believe it was like early 2020. He's got a crew of 5 people at most. I want to say 3 to 5. And my numbers are going to be off. If he were here, he would know exactly how many people that was. And so then I came on around November. And we quickly scaled. We grew fast.
And you just caught the vision. Was it?
Yeah, I think Matt and I work really well together. We both, we can see an end goal, but our brains work very differently. He is super detail oriented. He is very good at laying a path, and I am a doer. So if you tell me what that is and you tell me what you want me to do, it's done. We're not, you don't even have to check up.
But it's hard for you to maybe come up with that idea. But once you have it.
Yeah, well, the ideas aren't hard. It's locking one in. So I get an idea, and then I get an even better idea.
Okay.
And then I get a better idea on that idea. And so I'll just keep this rolling, right? And then I'll just forget about it and go do something else.
Gotcha. So, yeah. So tell me about, Well, let's talk about the business model. Because I've only really interacted with you all on which I think is brilliant when it comes to like the promotional thing. I've got a big event coming up, or let's give a shout out to like Erica Despain from All Things Madison. I think she uses you, right?
Yep.
And you have like, you set the time. It's going to be a 2 or 3 week notification process where you're telling people, hey, get your orders in. And then you all, like, once it's done, like that, what do you call it? Let's call it a campaign.
Yeah.
Once the campaign's over, then you take all the orders, which is good for you because now you can do your production in kind of one shot. You've already worked with me on what is obviously the options available to the customer. And then you, as the value add, so, there is a base price for the product, but then you're adding in all the services, the value added services to then ultimately you're shipping or you're packing and you're producing the garment, you're packing it and you're shipping it. And then I would, as the campaign manager, I'll get kind of whatever's that negotiated profit margin, which is amazing, versus I order 1,000 shirts from you and then it's up to me to do that. Right.
Yes.
So I know you do a lot of other things, but could you step through kind of like when you came on, what was the business model? And then if you can kind of talk me through how that's evolved.
Yeah. When I first came on, it was still, I would say, largely business to business. I think Apparel Lab has always kind of been more business to business, whereas if you know a lot about direct garment printing and the type of printing we do, we're usually more in the print on demand space, like a very Etsy shop kind of one-offs and things like that, and that's really not where we thrive. We really focus on larger business orders, research park customers. Like we want to provide quality merch to businesses. So when I started, it was still in that space, but just at a much smaller level. They were still using QuickBooks invoicing, a lot of manual processes, and a lot of processes that were just talked about and not documented. And so when I came in and I just started kind of asking, like, well, why do you do it this way? What's the process for this? And why this way? And have you thought about changing this, thing to this? I just wanted to know. I always want to know how it works. How does it work? Why are you doing it this way? I love a process. I love documenting a process. I will nerd out over some SOPs.
You're an HR. Yeah.
Well, I guess, and that's probably the HR part of my brain is that, but I also want it to be scalable and I want it to be implemented across the board, right? If it's a rule for me in the way I do it, I want it to be a rule for you in the way you do it, right? I don't want you to do something a certain way inside of the shop and then I'm doing it a certain way. That's how we have, that's how our quality gets off. So I think it's very important to know what the process is and make sure everyone knows that same process. So it was a very small new business. Nothing was documented. Everything was just kind of like, well, Matt says this is the way we do it, so it's the way that we do it.
Yeah.
So he hired me and I came in, I started pressing shirts, and basically I came to him and I was like, listen, I really like this and I don't want to leave, so here's how much I'm going to cost, and I want to stay full time. And he was like, I don't think I can afford that. And I told him, I was like, I know that that's scary, but it'll be worth it. And he probably feels like that was a good decision now, but he hired me. He said, and now I
did he have to sleep on it, or did he said yes right away?
Gosh, he probably slept on it.
Okay.
I don't remember that far back, but I feel like knowing Matt, he probably slept on it. He hired me, he brought me in, and he said, hey, listen, the first thing I need you to do is get us out of QuickBooks and get us into this software called Printavo.
Oh, yeah.
He said, I've been trying for a year. I can't get it. I can't. It's a lot. I mean, to implement a new software, it's just a lot. There's a lot of setup. There's a lot of whatever. So within 2 weeks, I had that rolling. We're ready to go. We're moving. And I think that was a huge tool to the growth in the company because it has pricing matrices. It just makes the sale process, one, look more professional and cleaner.
Sure. And
two, it just makes it easier. What I could have done in QuickBooks, creating an invoice, asking Matt, how much is this t-shirt? How much are you selling this t-shirt for? How much, that's archaic.
Right.
Now you give a salesperson the ability to quote and invoice customers within minutes on their own.
pre-negotiated or accepted. Or great. Good for you.
So that really was a game changer in the business. And then I think just having, I mean, I'm a go-getter, and I don't say that to toot my own horn. I'm a worker. And so, you know, if you give me a number and you say our best month ever of sales was this, immediate goal in my head, I'm beating that. So
what was his reaction when after it sounded like he said for a year he tried to get Printavo in there, and then 2 weeks later you're like, hey, I'm done.
He knew that was going to happen.
He did.
He says he knew that was going to happen.
I think a lot in movies. I don't know if you do, and I think of Cars when Lightning McQueen has to pave the road, and he like just wants to get out of there. Do you remember this scene?
Yes,
and he pays it terribly, right? And then Mater comes to like, he's done.
Yeah.
Like they're like, what? He's already done? Yeah, he's done.
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of like,
yeah.
I was just kind of imagining Matt being like, you're done?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm done. It's all done. What?
But I know
way.
now that, you know, being in more of the driver's seat of the small business now, it's hard to do the day-to-day tasks and really like break yourself away for something like software implementation when you're also running everything else in the shop.
You know, it's really interesting. And maybe, how big was the biggest company you worked for?
Spur got close to around 80 employees probably.
It's funny when you think of like, so I worked, and this is mostly like I'm federal contracting, right? I was at CIA for 20 years, and the deservedly so, the bad name that a lot of defense contracting companies get is that you're just trying to exploit the government and get them to do more process and more of this and more of that and less efficiency, right? Because then you can add another person, and it's got to be interesting when you have to, if you know, let's say you leave that world and now you go to your world where it's like, like we have to be efficient here, and we want to be able to do, you love your employees, of course, but in order to maximize everything, you've got to be as efficient as possible, because the slightest swing in economic factors can really have a massive impact on you, right?
So hard.
Every single day. Where you have to kind of like, you can easily have to like, not, I shouldn't say easily, but it's amazing how different those worlds are.
Yeah.
Where
we see it in our day to day. I mean, like, sorry, I just dropped my phone.
Oh, you're fine.
With the,
you need to pick it up?
no, it's fine. I don't need it. When the weather got bad and we had that ice storm. This year it wasn't an ice storm. I think that it was either the year before, maybe.
Yeah, I think
last ice storm we had.
Yeah.
Well, you know, this year they were very prepared for it. But lots of people just out of office, right? I'm emailing. I'm still trying to keep business going, and I'm getting lots of like, oh, we're out for, you know, winter. We'll be back in a few days. And I'm like, I've got to sell something. I've still got a staff to pay. I have people that want to work. And it's, you know, those large businesses, they're still getting their paychecks and they're still moving on. And ours is very dependent on those sales closing. And so while everyone else might be like, oh, we get a week off, I'm like, no, I can't take a week off.
Yeah. So, okay. So you've talked about immediately making an impact on bringing Printavo in, but keep talking about you got these ideas, and I'm assuming Matt has ideas, and now the two of you are like, more ideas are coming together because you're feeding off each other. But how much has your business model changed over the 4 years, and has it? Other than, I know underlying it's customer service, right?
I think we've just really honed into that. So I would say it was already like that, but it wasn't like an outspoken theory or principle that we practiced. And I think over the last couple of years, we've really kind of dug into that and said, like, our value proposition is that I will hold your hand through the whole thing. I will help you pick garments. I will push back when I think it's not your best presentation or where you should go. I have a wealth of knowledge even before the print industry that I feel like leans into small businesses making good business decisions. And so I think that we just have a view that a lot of print shops don't have. When you think about like good, smart business purchases, I'm not here just to sell you 1,000 t-shirts. If you buy 1,000 t-shirts from me and then you put them in your closet, you're not going to come back to buy more t-shirts from me. I would rather you buy 24 and then call me in 2 weeks and be like, I have already sold those. Great. Let me sell you another 24, or maybe it's 48 this time, but I'm not trying to make these giant like sales quotas I would rather make smaller and then you're coming back to me more often than sitting on shirts that are not going anywhere.
Yeah. So I think it's safe to say then you're looking, your preference, of course, is high volume. And then what is the threshold where you're like, we're not going to accept that? Or will you work through with just about any customer to kind of meet what they're looking for? Or do you just cut, like certain people say, look, that's just not us.
Yeah. So it depends on what it's for. There's a lot of promotional items that have MOQs and there's just no way around it because they have to run through production at a certain volume for them to make sense to run.
I'm assuming an MOQ is a minimum order quantity?
Yes.
Okay, for the audience.
Yes. But I always try to have some options that I can do one of. I can do 2 or 3, and it's not a big deal because, again, my soul is in small business. I want to be able to provide for that person who's like, it's just me right now. I'm the only employee, but I'm doing it. You know, you still need a T-shirt. Now, you might not need embroidered hats or like, you know, there's some other things that's like we're going to have to talk about some minimum orders here to make it make sense to run through production because, again, I have to make smart business decisions for us as I'm helping you do the same thing. So,
yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, printed items usually I can run through very small quantities, and then there's some other like embroidered things that it's got to be 12 or.
Are you the official like online merch store for some of the companies in Research Park or any company?
Yeah.
Cool.
We work hand in hand with Intrepid, Aviagen.
So, and if an employee goes to their merch store, they're basically connecting into you to order something. That's cool.
Yeah, and then tons of schools in the area. So many schools.
Can you get a contract with the school system, or is that like?
Right now, not only does each school choose their own vendor, usually each club inside of every school, every club and organization also makes their own decisions for merch and who they work with. So it's not like a streamlined process at the moment, but that would if the school system would come together and streamline that process, it would make it easier for everyone. Because I could only assume, just from having my own daughter in clubs and organizations, that like a parent who did not know this industry, and now you're being told that you're in charge of T-shirts, and you're like, okay, I guess I'll go online and Google T-shirts.
Yeah.
You know, it's an idea.
How about the what's the word I'm looking for? Like as far as the garments themselves and the range of what you're offering. You know, we certainly live somewhat in a 4-season climate. I mean, winter can be not as bad, right? I don't think it's that horrible of a winter, but how difficult is it for you all to kind of hone in on what garments to carry? T-shirts, long sleeve, you know, base layers. Is that something that's kind of ever evolving that you and Matt have to talk about?
I wouldn't say Matt and I talk about it, but I would say it is ever evolving. The vendors are always coming out with new pieces. I would say we've got our tried and true. You're going to see Comfort Colors T-shirts everywhere. Bella and Canvas is a premium brand that people ask for every day. But there's lots of brands out there that make very nice pieces that people don't know about. AS Color and, Toltex and lots of these others that we carry them and we push them out. But it'll never stop. Everybody's always going to keep on to that what's new. There, the color of the year and the trend of the year and the whatever. So we just kind of take that as it comes and flow with it. We keep our basics, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll have those kind of like premium pieces flow in and out as it goes.
So I guess help me understand. Like, I guess what I'm getting at is to make sure, let's say, maybe you've made a mistake in the past and you thought like some down jacket was going to be super popular.
Yeah.
And we ended up having a warm winter or whatever, and it wasn't popular. But so on one hand, it only hurts you if you've ordered 1,000 jackets that you were hoping to have printed, and maybe you've learned from, we're not going to order until we know that we have a customer that's interested, and then we will order the product, right?
So
can you walk me through that?
Yeah, that's a model Matt started with from the beginning, is that we don't order anything until the customer places their order. So one is because we don't have a giant warehouse where I could stock, thousands of garments. If you think about just T-shirts, I want to stock just T-shirts. Okay, you're stocking black T-shirts in every size, white T-shirts in every size. You have to have enough to cover every order of every size that comes in. I mean, just on black and white alone, you're already looking at hundreds of T-shirts. Now, if you added Bella Canvas has 50 colors in t-shirts, you carrying them all, right? It would get wild fast.
Yeah.
So we order when the customer places their order. And so that's helped. But I will say there have been times where I really have like honed in on something and I'm like, this is a good idea. We should do this. And we have cases of water bottles that need, we'll run on a discount or offer to someone because I pulled the trigger on something and probably shouldn't have ordered 4 cases.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, and so then, and you do all of your own manufacturing, right? Like you don't outsource or send anything out to be pressed or embroidered or anything?
We have some partners that we work with, but we do, I would say 85% of what we sell is done right on Old Madison Pike.
Okay. And then of the 15%, has that been lessons learned on how to do business with those that you're sending out to?
Oh gosh, yes. I mean, we lock in those contract partners. We know that they hold the same level of quality that we do, and we do not, there's no variance left or right. If this person is who I work with, this person is who I work with. I know their name. I know where they are. I've got their direct contact information, and I know their turnaround time. There's no questions about what I'm going to be purchasing.
And and maybe you or did Matt ever run into an issue where you're outsourcing and then they are also contracting out?
Because we vet that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. There's no way they can get around that.
I mean,
I guess they could try.
They could try if they wanted to, but somebody's got to make money somewhere. And I feel like if you just keep pushing it off to the next person, eventually someone's doing it for peanuts.
Now, and talk to me now about the technology side as far as I guess making sure, and I'm my own customer. I've been a customer, and I've gone through you, and I think I've used Custom Ink in the past, right? For, and I always feel bad like when someone's here in front of me that does this, and it's like you have to admit that, like, well, I used Custom Ink once. I lived in Virginia. I didn't know about you. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I'm confessing my sins.
Matt and I still order T-shirts online. If we see a cool T-shirt online, or someone. In fact, this weekend we were in Atlanta. Went to a CrossFit gym and they had cool T-shirts. Buy one of their T-shirts.
Yeah.
Like just because I'm,
Do you recognize this shirt, by the way?
Sure do.
Do you know Jonathan Fowler?
Oh yeah, he's great.
Fowler?
They have the coolest designs. Yeah.
He this I guess was like when the soccer team came out, and I just had Chad Emerson here from the soccer team, but I purposely never wear it in front of him because I don't own yet I've never bought an HCSC thing.
Oh, okay.
And it's in part because like I'm more of a baseball fan than a soccer fan. And I just love the Pandas and Sprocket.
Yeah.
And I have 15 Trash Pandas shirts.
Yeah.
And I have I mean, I love the concept of the soccer team being here. And it's just like baseball. Like I'm not really interested in the roster of the Trash Pandas. I just go for the experience. But maybe it's just I live far enough away that I just never made it. Like schedule wise, Sundays usually don't work for me.
You haven't been to a soccer game?
I haven't been to one. That's what I'm trying to say. I haven't been to one yet.
It's really fun.
I know. But every single time I've been, I would buy my own tickets, but people will offer me tickets. Like, honestly, it's every time, like, I can't do it. I already have something going on.
Yeah.
And like on Sundays, I got church responsibilities and usually I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't want to, but there's just a lot more opportunities to go to a baseball game because it's Tuesday through Sunday.
And
right?
it's so close.
Yeah.
But it really is a good time. And I'm not, I don't follow any sports really.
Other than what
my daughter's doing, yeah. But I love to go to a Trash Panda game. I love to go to those soccer games, like the energy. I love a hockey game. Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah, my daughter, she's 25 now, and she loves the Havoc. She loved. You met her on the way in.
Yeah.
You met her, Alicia. Okay, so with the advent of technology, which is good. I think it's a good. It's always a good and bad thing, right? But also with customers, and I guess I'm not asking you to dime out any specific customer, but people generally want to get away with something. They don't want to have to pay as much, and they try to maybe go back on the terms and conditions they've signed up for. But talk me through a little bit of what you all have had to do in order to prevent that despite the back and forth that you try to do with the customer, say, here's a proof. Do you agree? Do you like the color? Do you like the logo placement? Like, how difficult is that to kind of manage? And then, have you been more effective over time in kind of eliminating those kinds of
yes.
screw ups, if you will.
Yes. I think that kind of a baseline we have set is that our standard has to be higher than any customer we have.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever our hardest, most meticulous customer is, that has to be, our standard has to be above that for everyone else. And as long as you do that, no one's going to be upset. And yes, I have zero t-shirt knowledge, zero industry knowledge, zero print knowledge walking into day one at Apparel Lab. So I've had to learn everything. I also didn't have a ton of sales knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I would not, still today, I will tell you, I'm not a salesperson. If you tell me no, I don't want that, okay, bye.
Tell me what you want.
Yeah, see you later. I'm never going to hard sell someone. So if it's not something that I think truly, personally will benefit them or their business, I'm out. I cannot sell you something that I don't really believe that you're going to love. So I have to stand behind everything that we do. I personally love everything that we sell. I may not love and want to wear the design, but I will feel good about the garment it went on, the print itself, right? Like I can still love every piece that goes out without saying like, I want to wear that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think just having to learn that, and then having to learn, I'm sure that I'm doing things much faster than I was 5 years ago, right? Now, if you say I want t-shirts, okay, here's some options. I know my top picks. I know, and I can tell you based on what the event is, who's going to be there, time of year. I can tell you, within reason what you need.
But despite that, are there still people though that, despite signing off on the proofs, they're like, wait a minute, the logo's higher than I thought. It's the coloring is off.
It's rare. It's very rare, but you can't make everyone happy all of the time. Mm-hmm. So we have several approval processes throughout, before the garment's actually printed. I try to communicate as much as possible to make sure, my words can't be misconveyed. I try to be very clear and direct with what I do. You still get one every now and then that, wasn't a win. And I would say that I'm thinking of one right now. And actually, it's the only one I can think of in 5 years. But there was one that I knew they weren't happy. I did exactly what we talked about, but still, it just wasn't a win. And I think, when that happens, my first call is Matt. I'm like, hey, here's what happened. I'm forwarding him emails. I'm like, here's my communication. Here's what I did. Here's what happened. Here's what they're saying. Because Matt has lived here his whole life. And usually within 10 minutes, he's getting a Facebook message from whoever,
right.
And they're like, I'm upset, It's probably happened 3 times, but I always beat them to the punch, because if I think I've messed up, I'm putting myself out there. You're going to hear from me before anyone else. So,
but most of the time you weren't at fault.
I'm sure I've messed something up. I can't think of any of it right now, but I'm sure I've messed up an order.
Yeah. But you're human and it happens.
Yeah, we usually catch it before it gets to the customer. I would say if something was a mess up, it's because I didn't leave good notes for my team internally. And so maybe something got printed incorrectly, but then my team catches it before it gets to the customer. I eat it and we redo it. It makes it to the customer and they never know.
Are those difficult customers? Do you feel like they're just looking for a bargain or a discount or somehow to not have to pay whatever, or it's just the way they are?
I think customers can be difficult for different reasons. I think some can be difficult because they are looking for a $5 shirt that doesn't exist anymore. Pre-COVID, you could get things. The garment was cheaper, the ink was cheaper, the labor was cheaper. Our overhead was cheaper, and now everything's doubled almost, right?
Except for big TVs.
Oh no, those are cheaper. Those are cheaper. And so I think that people are looking for a bargain. I think that a lot of times it's just education. Yeah. They don't know. Like I didn't know. If I came in to buy, I honestly don't know anything about buying TVs other than what size do you want it, put it on the wall, right?
Yeah.
So I think, that's my job, is to educate people and to listen and to understand. And then, I would 95%. We have a lot of Google reviews right now, and because it's been like a path of mine for 25 was we wanted to get over 200 Google reviews, and you can't get 200 5-star Google reviews without really paying attention and listening to people and making sure that you're taking care of them. Because I've gotten 2 1-star reviews in 5 years. Both of them were not from customers who actually purchased anything. So
really,
yeah. So I really do make it a point to make sure that everyone I talk to gets this like shining 5-star experience from me. I don't want anyone to leave and be like, that was crappy to work with her.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because even though Huntsville's big, it's a small town and people talk.
Now, did Matt always have those kind of checks in place before you showed up, or is that really something you've brought to protecting Apparel Lab through customer mistake, whatever, right? Having all these kind of checkpoints in the process.
I think that's something he's always been good at. I think he's an entrepreneur by heart, right? And he's had Absolute Nutrition for, I think they're 16 years. He's helped several other businesses. So I think this is already something that's ingrained in him, is to make sure that you've got these checks and steps along the way. I would love to say that that's something I helped hone in on, but I think that's something that was already ingrained in him.
Yeah. What about like fabrics? How do you all keep up with, I guess the suppliers, do they have kind of a relationship with you where they're kind of constantly selling you or showcasing to you the stuff? Is that pretty much they just reach out to you, or do you have to do a lot of effort there?
The good ones come to us, and then there are others that, we'll have to chase down, but we have super close relationships with our vendors. They come in, they bring suitcases of things for us to try. If they get something new in, they know that we're kind of in the better goods space. I want those premium pieces, not just the cheap $2 t-shirt. So they know when they get something like a Travis Matthew polo or a,
Peter Millar.
Peter Millar. Yeah. They're sending us those samples because they know we're going to sell it. That's better for them. Right. So, they're constantly sending us things. Check this out. Have you seen this fabric? Have you seen this cut? This new color? So we're really lucky to have some very good reps on our side.
Is there a particular fabric that you've kind of been surprised how popular it's become?
The one that always surprises me still is dry fit.
Really?
Yeah. I am not a fan of a dry fit t-shirt. I don't want to wear it. I do not want 100% polyester. Mm-hmm. I don't want to work out in it. I don't think I own 100% polyester anything, but we still get so many requests. Usually it's a sport team, a youth sport team. Oh, we have to have dry fit shirts. We have to have moisture wicking dry fit shirts. I'm like, I do CrossFit year round. I have cheered my entire life. I have sweat and dug through the mud on these races and things. And it's like, please do not put me in a dry fit shirt. But we still get so many requests for them, and they continue to sell. So I don't know why it's popular. I don't know why people keep asking for it.
It's probably the Under Armour effect.
I think it is, but I'm out on it.
Yeah. I was thinking when I was running the other day and listening.
Were you wearing a dry fit shirt?
No. I have if I do have one, it's just because I got one like at a race.
Mm-hmm. And they always give them away.
Yes, you're right. Because I guess they're cheap or something.
Mm-hmm. They are cheap.
Well, you know what? I have 2 things for you. You know what brand I really, really like? They're a Swedish company, Kraft. Have you heard of them? If you ever run Ragnar has like a relationship with Kraft, but they started out doing the like cycling clothes, like the outerwear for cyclists.
But that's got like spandex and stuff built into it.
It does,
right?
But anything I have is just it's just a different quality of t-shirt. And it's like some of those you just look and like, well, that's gonna be good.
Yeah, you can see how soft it is without even touching it.
It's the structure. There's something about it that's just and when somebody when it's remarkable, when somebody's out actually notices it, that t-shirt's like on a different level.
Yeah.
No, I actually, if you look at the episode I did with 124 with Megan recently, I'm wearing a Ragnar shirt. Mm-hmm. It's like a reddish color, and that's a Kraft. We actually talked about it later, but I love their stuff.
Yeah.
And I actually finally looked it up after talking with her. I was like, I don't even know who these people are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, they're out of Sweden.
It's a Swedish company.
when we lived in DC, I listened to this morning radio show with like these four guys. It was like a sports show. And they were approached by, I think his name's, whoever the founder of Under Armour is, Kevin something, can't remember his last name. And they have ties to University of Maryland. And he asked them at the time, like, hey, can you, like, it's $10,000 to buy into Under Armour. And they're like, get out of here, Under Armour. And he was out selling, he like had his little fabric thing, and he was out, you know, trying to sell his wares and trying not to take no for an answer, but everyone's telling him, no, you're crazy, this is stupid. And Under Armour is just like, boom, right?
Now looking back, those guys are like, oh man.
Yeah, they talk about it frequently. Like, oh my gosh, we would be multi-millionaires if we'd just given them 10 grand.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there like a certain style that you kind of hopefully would just go? I mean, other than dry fit, is there something else though that, or maybe a slightly different question, one that just surprises you that doesn't do as well as you think it could do or should do? Because just Nicole's personal preference.
No, I don't think so. I think that, you know, we have all these styles because they're needed. We need and just preferred, right? You have your t-shirt that you love.
Yeah.
Someone else loves that thicker, heavy cotton, you know, oversized tee. I don't want to wear it, but they love it.
Yeah.
I love that for them. I think that we need all these. And I think, you know, while I might have my favorite t-shirt, I have different pieces for different occasions, right? Like that I want this t-shirt for this thing, or I want this cropped t-shirt for this, or a tank top for that. So I think they're all needed.
All right, here we go. This is what I asked ChatGPT. So we're going to look at, I don't know if you can really see this. I'm going to try to make it big. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
My prompt was, what are some of the things that Apparel Lab of Madison, Alabama does very well?
Cool.
And it says, Apparel Lab has built a strong reputation locally, especially among businesses, schools, and organizations. Based on their positioning, services, and local feedback patterns, here are the key things they tend to do very well. High-quality screen printing and embroidery. How long ago did you buy your embroidery machine? Because I know you made a post that you bought the Mercedes-Benz of...
Yeah, it's been about 2 years now.
2 years? Mm-hmm. Just killer?
I mean...
Game changer?
Actual game changer. There's not a lot of things... In fact, I think we say that in that silly clip, but there's not a lot of things that we would consider game changers, but this changed the game for us. And the funnier part about that is we said we were never going to do embroidery in-house because threads and, I mean, just so many things that were...
Needles and threads.
And we don't know about that, right? But then we saw this machine that basically, like, I could learn. I learned to run it so easy. It was so easy. The company brought us in to their headquarters, taught us how to run it, sold it to us. It was that. I mean, it was so simple.
Yeah, you and Matt had both said even maybe a month prior.
Oh yeah.
Like, no, we're not doing it.
Never.
Like we're in agreement, right? Yeah, not doing it. Okay,
yeah.
Super.
Yeah. Hands in, right? Okay.
Hands in, right? Like, shake on it, spit on it.
Yeah.
And then both of you probably were like, I don't know, maybe.
It just kind of
eating at you.
Well, what happened was we purchased a company.
Okay.
They had embroidery, and we worked with them for a while in-house. And then when that didn't work out, we were like, wait a minute. I think we can do this. We should do this.
Yeah.
It gave us some knowledge and some insight into what embroidery was. And it wasn't this scary outside beast anymore. It was something that we were like, we've learned everything else in this shop. Why not this too?
What's the maintenance tail like on something like that?
There's weekly and monthly maintenance for the machine. It just like any other, like it's got oil and
they come in and do that. You have to do it.
We do that. Yeah.
Okay. And so far it's been great. Like no major hiccups.
Yeah. As long as it's set up properly from the jump, you're good to go.
All right. So the sub bullets to that were clean, durable prints that hold up after repeated washings. That's important.
Mm-hmm.
Accurate color matching for logos, professional finish in corporate apparel, consistency across large batch orders, strong customer service and responsiveness. Now, would you hope that would be the number one? I know this is just ChatGPT, but do you pride yourselves such that we say that should be number one?
I pride myself on customer service, but I feel like your customer service can be great, but if your product isn't, then that wouldn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, this seems to be your business model that's kind of regurgitating that you're hitting it on there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is it primarily all local, or do you have some that's
90? I would say 90% local. I've got a handful of CrossFit gyms that I work with.
Yeah.
DC, Maryland, just some random.
They find you through going to like shows and stuff? And
yeah, word of mouth.
Okay.
So we're friends with one of the CrossFit kind of management companies, and they, as he's traveling, if someone asks for shirts or something,
What is the percentage of the customers who actually physically come in, get to feel the fabric, see the colors, meet you as they make their decision?
It's a much smaller number. I have learned that I have to be more choosy with my time, right? As we've grown.
Okay.
I can't just take sit down meetings with everyone, because if I did that, I'd never actually be at my desk, and I still have a team to manage and sales to close. And I'm sure, as you know, nothing actually gets completed in a meeting, right? At work, when you're in a meeting, you have to then leave and then do all of the work from the meeting. So if I was with someone all day, then I would have to spend all night going back to finish actual tasks. So I would say less than 10% we meet in person, but I'm always happy to do that for people that have questions. There's just a lot that are very, like they know a Bella and Canvas t-shirt, and so they don't need to come in and feel it. They're fine with what I'm telling them. Or they'll say, I trust your judgment. Put me on what you like.
Yeah.
I would say lots of corporate will have a sit down, because I think polos and jackets, and those are a lot of things that you really need to kind of see in person. Sometimes t-shirts are just easier, right? But if you're saying like, I'm going to sell you 150 of these soft shell jackets, I want to see one of those jackets before I go all in on this order.
So I think I remember I met with you a couple of years ago. Is that in part why you got rid of that calendar thing, just to kind of sign up for your time?
Yeah.
Because you were like, well, wait a minute.
I was underwater in just meetings.
Yeah.
And some were great, but some were not. And
right.
So now I really try to vet that before we sit down. I try to do a lot of information gathering and a phone call even before we meet in person, because a lot of times maybe I can tell off the bat we're not a fit. And so I want to be transparent with your time. That's just as valuable as my time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to have to. I mean, I have had a customer this year. He drove from Kentucky to meet with me. He said he found our shop, and he said, like, you're the one that's going to help me build this brand. And I was like, okay,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that actually is a good segue. I want you to comment on number 6 here, helping clients turn ideas into actual merchandise. And can you give me an experience that where you can think back and really helped that client to kind of figure out like whatever their idea was, but they had an idea, but they just weren't sure, and you really had to coach them to, and then ultimately to what the final product was, and how satisfying was that?
Oh my gosh, it's the best. Small or big company, it doesn't matter, because what I nerd out about is people talking about things they love. So if it's you coming in with your logo, if it's, I was working with one the other day, Ceramic Chaos. Her logo is so pretty and just like colorful and fun. And she gets excited about her shirts, and I know it's just a t-shirt. She's just ordering a couple, but I love how excited she gets, right?
Yeah.
About these things. I think that it really is the best part of my job, is that I just get to make people excited, right? Like most of the time, if I'm not working with somebody in Research Park, which I love working with them, but when I get to sit down with these brands that are just starting out and they're building something, I mean, I'm sure you can think about starting off this podcast, like how pumped you are for this to launch.
Yeah.
Like getting to see that almost every day, it is energizing. And so I get to see these people who are, they're like pursuing their dream. And maybe it's in their spare time. Maybe they've went all in and they're doing it full time. But either way, it's something that they're passionate about. And they're looking for my expertise to like really help bring this to life. It's not just an idea anymore. They're ready to make t-shirts or business cards or, whatever. It might even be just a banner for what do you call it? Like a little market, right? But it's becoming real. And so that in itself is so exciting to see someone living their dream.
Yeah, I was just kind of thinking like that's when it gets real.
Oh yeah.
Like you've ordered T-shirts, or you've gone through the process, you created your logo, whatever, but now, you're kind of taking it to another level, right? Where you're
Yeah.
like, okay, this is there's no turning back.
Because a lot of times what that's for is because you're putting yourself out in the public, right? You're not buying a T-shirt to go sit at home.
Right.
You're going to go do something and you need to look branded and professional. So, it really is that last piece of like, okay, we got to get this so we can go do that. So.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to do some fun questions with you.
Okay.
Is there any part of the business that we haven't covered yet, though, that you'd like to in the time we have remaining?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right, so let's do an easy one. And I hope that this somewhat, some of your employees might learn something about
Okay.
you. But what's your favorite color?
Purple.
Okay. What was the name of your first crush?
Oh my gosh. First crush.
Like an actual human being, not like a TV star.
Yeah. Oh, okay. A real human. Probably Brad.
Brad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. You and I have talked a lot about and shared information about travel.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to go somewhere every quarter if you can,
Yeah.
whether in the U.S. or internationally. What do you have what's your immediate next step travel wise? Do you have a destination planned out?
Mm-hmm. Leaving for Costa Rica.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's coffee beans and stuff down there too?
Coffee beans and coffee plantations and
Okay.
getting to see that in real life.
What's the next one after that? Have you planned that?
Hawaii.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's assume I want to go to Singapore really bad, by
It's
the way.
wonderful.
Have you been there?
Yes.
Oh, really? Tell me, what's it like?
It's an island, right? It's the cleanest, like,
You can't spit.
oh no,
Yeah.
no chewing gum allowed on the island. I remember getting up and going for a run around this like lake on the island one morning, and they were pressure washing with like bleach and scrubbing the sidewalk. Like pristine. Everything is pristine. It's not too congested because they only let a certain number of cars on the island. Your family has to have like a pass to be able to have a car on the island. So
When did you go?
2017.
Oh, that's awesome. My mother and before I was born, they lived in Singapore for a little while, and like I missed out.
Yeah,
And
it's incredible.
I want to go.
But expensive.
Yeah. Okay, so but let's say you're now like I'm going to go in Australia on Thursday, 15-hour flight.
Mm-hmm.
How do you pass the time?
I'm gonna try to work a lot. I'll try to sleep. It's not gonna work. I'm gonna try to sleep first, right? I'll work a little bit and then I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna sleep a little bit.
Were you catching up on emails when you say work? What are you doing?
Emails, customers. I'm gonna try to keep just growing the business.
Are you buying the internet plan, or is this like you're doing stuff and then as soon as you're able to get connectivity, it'll go out all the emails while you're flying?
I'll have the internet plan. Yeah,
Okay.
There's no way I can travel without it.
Got it.
15-hour flight, immediate internet plan.
Yeah, because then you're always on.
Yeah.
And that way they don't need to know where you're at.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Give me someone from your past that you wish you could go back and apologize to, whatever the circumstance was.
Someone from my past that I wish I could apologize to.
Whatever that circumstance.
Yeah. Probably my mom.
Really?
Yeah. She passed away about 11 years ago. It was a rocky relationship, so if I could go back, I'd redo that one.
Okay. All right, I have a hypothetical.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've heard me give this hypothetical before. This is my it's May. It's a beautiful evening. You are leaving the Probst Arena, gone to a concert or a game, whatever. And at the same time, everybody is leaving the VBC at the same time. They're leaving the concert hall, they're leaving Probst Arena. There's people down at Big Spring Park. And you're now in your car, and you're the only car for whatever reason that's allowed to kind of drive on that little road, that little service road in front of the arena and the VBC. You have your windows down, and you are cranking a song, and you do not care. You don't have you have no reservation about the fact that you're going to be singing at the top of your lungs.
Yeah.
This particular song that's playing, and you want everyone to hear, what are you singing?
Probably Brown Eyed Girl.
Old school.
Yeah. That was the first song that came to my head, so I think that's probably what I would go with. I was trying to think of something cool, but that was
Do you
the
sing?
first one. No.
Do you do karaoke?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Yeah. Sometimes.
If you get drunk enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if my friends, if everybody's doing it, I'm in.
Yeah.
Alcohol or not. If we're all doing karaoke, I'm doing karaoke.
Yeah. I think I have one more question for you. What's your, let's just do kind of a business goal. What would you like to see Apparel Lab accomplish over the next year? Take us inside a little bit into the planning and strategy, but one goal for this year. I don't want to say 5 years.
Yeah.
That's too long.
This year,
2026. What will be success for you come December?
So I think that, anyone who's worked in a small business knows almost all employees, you wear a lot of hats, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we really haven't had people that are dedicated to this one thing, right? Like you might be in this area today, this area tomorrow. So I think that my goal for this year has been really try to to build the business to be large enough to sustain teams being dedicated to their area. So we've got just a print team, a laser team, embroidery team. Instead of you're doing a little bit of everything because, business is heavier here. So you're moving here. And I'm so thankful my team will do that. And they are so good. But I think it would be so cool to be like, no, this is this team. This is this team. Right. So I think just continuing to build the business and be able to say, we have to add enough employees. We're adding an employee specifically for embroidery, right? Which we do need right now. We need embroidery. So and being able to grow those individual teams and really start focusing on the branches that it has and not just, I feel like we've been growing kind of as a whole, which is great, but I want to start having these sectors and really kind of think about the business in the lanes that it has. And
then would a step further be having some of them be able to be experts in kind of toggling between the teams, some of those employees, or would you rather have them just specialize in the one?
I think specializing because they're so different, right? Laser engraving is different than DTG printing. The machines are different. The maintenance is different. The troubleshooting is different. And both of those are different than embroidery. And that's different than wide format printing. So it's, I really do want to have these different sectors. And then my vision is that you would have a lead for each of them. Mm-hmm. You would have someone who's kind of the overarching production manager who kind of marries the flow of all of them, right? And is watching kind of like a puppet master, which has been my role probably until this past year, is to kind of, pull the strings to all the pieces of the business and make sure that all orders are coming together at one time. But I started handing that off because as the business grows, one person can't do all of the things. Yeah. So been working on handing that off but now I want that person to grow, take over. My vision is for her to kind of be the one pulling the puppet strings on all the departments, right? And for each department to have a lead, how it goes, that will report to her, kind of start funneling everything out. It's
interesting, like orchestration, right?
Yeah.
And even with AI, that's like the future is like, who can orchestrate all the AI? Because everyone's like, oh, we use AI, but right, that's so stovepiped and, and it does this or that. But what is the orchestration piece to that? Mm-hmm. Okay, separate. Let's end on this. What about your CrossFit goals? Mm. What does Nicole want to accomplish? How long have you been doing CrossFit?
CrossFit specifically for about 3 years.
Okay.
I did Iron Tribe before that. I've always had some kind of activity like that that I've been doing.
Are you right now training for something?
Not anything specific. I mostly train just because it's the one time a day where I'm not tied to a computer or a phone, and I like CrossFit because I go in and it tells me what to do. I don't have to think. I don't have to I'm not in charge.
Where do you do it?
CrossFit Impulse off of Slaughter.
Okay.
Drive. Yeah.
So that's not far for you from the.
Pretty much everything in my world like lives in this little bubble.
Yeah. Until you travel.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Any final thoughts or shout outs from you?
Nope. Just, growing that team.
Keep doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't met Matt, but it's just one of those small businesses that's always been here 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've been aware of Apparel Lab for some time. And it's like, it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. And I know there's a lot of competition. Oh gosh, every day, like I can go try to buy a hat and the next thing you know, I'm getting like 12 different hat makers.
Yeah.
And,
we just have tried to carve out our niche, and I know that won't be a fit for everyone. So,
right.
we're very transparent about who we are and what we do. And like, if that is a fit for you, then great. And if it's not, then like, I hope you get something really cool somewhere else. Like, I don't fault, to each their own. I'm not the one for everyone. So
yeah,
I welcome the competition. I think that it helps keep, pushing us forward as we go.
Well, Nicole Reynolds, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks.
I appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Enjoy the weather.
Oh my gosh, I am.
All right, take care.